Good morning. It's good with you on this Thursday morning. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching on video on social media or Facebook, I'm wearing my new Starkville High School Yellow Jacket hat. I was lucky enough to meet some of the coaches yesterday and support the Starkville High. Today, Thursday, we're going to be going to Starkville Academy and giving popsicles to the band. People always say, "What's your favorite team?" My favorite team is always the Fighting Clarinets and the Fighting Trombones. So we're looking forward to supporting Starkville Academy today as well. And I'm so thankful to see our church here at Starkville First United Methodist Church be able to support all of our local schools. We'll be doing stuff for the famous Maroon Band later. Um, next month as well. So a lot of good ways that our church is able to serve our community right now, and I'm very thankful for that. So I was texting somebody. Like I said, I'm wearing my yellow jacket hat tonight. I text somebody. I said I need to get me a volunteer hat too. Gotta support all of my. I'm quite a diverse a color palette here in Starkville. So today we're going to finish out chapter 10, and we'll actually go into verse 1 of chapter 11. So let's read 1 Corinthians chapter 10, 23 through 11, verse 1. All things are lawful, but not all things are beneficial. All things are lawful, but not all things build up. Do not seek your own advantage, but that of the other. Eat whatever is sold in the meat market without raising any question on the ground of conscience. For the earth and its fullness are the Lord's. If an unbeliever invites you to a meal and you are disposed to go, eat whatever is set before you without raising any question on the grounds of conscience. But if someone says to you, "This has been offered in sacrifice," then do not eat it out of consideration for the one who informed you, for the sake of the conscience. I mean that the other person's conscience, not your own. For why should my liberty be subject to the judgment of someone else's conscience? If I partake in thankfulness, why should I be denounced because of all that for which I give thanks? So whether you eat or drink, whatever you do everything for the glory of God. Give no offense to Greeks or Jews or to the church of God, just as I try to please everyone in everything I do, not seeking my own advantage, but that of many, so that many may be saved. Be imitators of me as I am of Christ. So a lot of really interesting things here that Paul says that we can unpack here. He continues once again with this notion of that you have the right to do all kind of stuff. But in every step here, we see Paul being considerate of other people. So if you were invited to a house to eat and they serve the food that has been sacrificed, um, don't, it's fine. Be a good, be a good guest. I always think of the joke I was told when I was on a mission trip about the missionary prayer. Lord, if I get it down, you keep it down. So we want to be good guests. If we are shown hospitality, we want to accept it and celebrate it and rejoice in it. So if you're at someone's house and they offer you this, then accept it. If you are somewhere though and someone says, "Hey, that food was sacrificed to idols," then for the sake of that person, then don't eat it. So for Paul in both of these, he wants the Christian to be thinking first of the other person, to be thinking of the other person's needs, the other person's thoughts, the other person's beliefs, the other person's conscience. Paul is always wanting us as Christians not to first exercise our rights, but to always be thinking about what is best or good for the other person. That's where Paul always seems to land for us is to love the other person, to love the other person. He said, but should my liberty be subject to the judgment of others? If I partake in thankfulness, should I be announced? He said, I love what he says. All of it is the Lord's. The earth is full of the earth and the fullness are the Lord's. Um, all good things come from above. We make the mistake sometimes as Christians of dividing the world between that which is sacred and that which is profane. Sacred meaning the things of God, and profane meaning the things of the world. And so God's time is Sunday morning, 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. That's God's time. That God gets that hour. God gets your quiet time in the morning. God gets these 10 minutes here for this reflection. God gets this time. This is God's time. And then the rest of it's my time, right? So sacred and profane, God's time versus my time. Paul says, no, 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 that's not the way it works. Everything is God's. All time is God's time. All resources are God's resources. All things are God's things. The verse in James, all good things come from God, the giver of all good gifts. So if it is in your life and it is a good thing, it is a gift to you from God. All good things come from God. The earth and the fullness are the Lord's. So understand that there is no division between what belongs to God and what doesn't, but it all belongs to God. And then he really hits on it, verse 31. So whatever you eat or drink, whatever you do everything for the glory of God. Give no offense to Jews or Greeks, please anyone trying or the church of God. Don't offend anyone, but do it for God's glory. I always, Paul has similar themes throughout his works, and I think a lot of this verse to me has echoes of Colossians 3:17. And all things you do in word or deed, do them to the glory of God the Father through Jesus Christ the Son. So, in all things, the sacred or the profane, do them to the glory of God. All things. So there is no division here. I think that's one of the key takeaways we can take from this verse is that there isn't a division. There's not the division of God's time and our time, God's stuff and our stuff. It all belongs to the Lord. And whatever you do, there's not everything you do, everything. Do it to God's glory. Today in your job, your, your to-do list that you have, do it to God's glory. Do your job well. One of the prayers I pray at church a lot whenever we have a night meeting, I always pray something to the effect of and as give us good rest tonight so that we may serve you with joy tomorrow. Our service of God each day is it's an act of worship, if you will. We do it for God's glory. In the same way we sing and worship for God's glory, or we pray and worship for God's glory, or we do these things for God's glory. Whenever we love our neighbor, we do it for God's glory. But not just loving your neighbor, because loving your neighbor has to it the real understanding of that's faithfulness. But we cut our grass to God's glory, y'all. I'm recording this reflection to God's glory. Like there's not a single part of our life that is not done for God's glory. Because it comes back to the division of the sacred versus the profane. Well, this isn't at church, so it isn't it's just for whatever I want to do, right? I can be sloppy, I can be lazy, I can do whatever. No. Whatever you're doing, your job, your play, your academic life, you're being a good neighbor, you're being a good coworker, you're being a good father or mother or parent or child. These things are all done for God's glory. Why? So that many may be saved. We love for God's glory and we serve for God's glory and we live for God's glory. And in doing this, many may be saved. And that, friends, above all, is our purpose and our goal to do it for God's glory. And so that's, I guess, our challenge today. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what you find yourself doing, no matter what is going on, we do the task set before us for God's glory. So there is no division. There is no sacred and profane. There is no God's time and our time, but it all belongs to God. So today, do it well, do it with joy, do it with purpose, and do it for God's glory. Whatever you eat, there's not all things are all things. As he says, consider your neighbors. He said, so if they abstain, abstain. If they don't, they then don't. But ultimately, it's not what I want, but it's how do I show my neighbors the love of God? And so how do I live out the good news of God through every action I take. So let's understand that today is a sacred day. Whether you find yourself in church in some way or whether you are whatever you're doing, it is a sacred day because it's a day lived for God's glory. So, hey, thanks for being with us today. We'll pick up tomorrow with chapter 11. Have a great day. See ya.